Good morning everyone, Chris here from Cards.n.Colors. So let me take a seat. And today we will be looking at the Witch's Wisdom Tarot by Phyllis Curott and artwork by Danielle Barlow. Phyllis Curott is a well-known Wiccan priestess, high priestess I guess, and witch. And Danielle Barlow also did the watercolor art for the Green Wheel Oracle. This is the box, sturdy box as you can see, with some gold foil going on and then a wintry forest in blue, quite nice. Some cards on the back, and here a little picture of what you get. So it has a magnetic lid here, and when you open it up there are two poems or spells inside. Beautiful here with the tree going on. And inside of this box there was this book and then the cards in a lovely, I'm not sure what it is, linen, cotton bag here with strings, and then an emblem attached to it in indigo or royal blue with the 4 compass points and then some greenery going on. And this pattern also appears on the back of the cards. So nice, but I will put that aside for a moment. The book has a lovely texture to it, a nice feel like linen. Maybe you can hear that. Beautiful here with the sun going on. And then inside again the wintry dark blue forest scene. Introduction, how to use the cards, different spreads, and then the different cards. No depiction of the cards in the book. Not even a little thumbnail or something, but it's okay. So the book has about 159 pages. Quite nice, I think. Yeah, it's a lovely book. And I think with this being so different than your traditional tarot, it would be nice to really study the book or have the book at hand when working with the cards. Phyllis Curott wrote the book, and the text passages for each of the cards are quite inspirational, poetic in a way, magical. For each card you get wisdom, the wisdom of the card, the essence of the card featuring keywords, counsel, so if you draw the card in a reading, and then magic, how to use the energy of the card or how to manifest the energy of the card. Quite nice. So I will, when we go through the cards, as you can see there are different subtitles for each of the cards, and I will refer to them. And we have to talk about the whole concept of this before I start the walkthrough, because what they did here is, first of all, so the back of the cards as mentioned before, the same emblem on the back. What they did is they flipped the order of the trumps. And the reason for that is, and I find that quite fascinating, that in your traditional tarot, you start as the Fool or the Magician, and then you move up in a way, away from the earth, away from the material plane, into the luminaries, sun, moon, stars, and then the world of the universe, so someplace above or beyond. But the witch's way is to go down into the material world, into the full embodiment of spirit, and to find the divine and the spiritual in ordinary daily life things and the material world. So a more of a shamanic approach, like spirit animals and plants and nature spirits and ancestors and so on, all being part of nature, of the material world, and also a manifestation of the divine and of spirit. So this is why they start with the world and then going down, or maybe you could say the other way from the world back to the magician and the fool, the soul that is part of the world and on its journey in the world. So that is quite interesting. It might be a bit confusing at first, but in the end, well, it's just flipped. So the world is numbered 1, and then judgment, which has a different title here, is number 2, and so on. But if you're used to the order of the trumps, well, it's not that hard to get it. And the illustrations, most of them resemble the traditional pictures. Some of them have changed dramatically, the titles and the depictions. For example, the devil is missing from this deck because the devil is not a concept of witchcraft or Wicca or earth-based or earth-centered, nature-centered spirituality. So there is no devil card here, being a Christian concept. And as mentioned before, the judgment card number 20, which is number 2 in this deck here. Well, judgment is such a Christian concept that it doesn't appear here as judgment or rising from the dead or whatnot. So that's one part. The other part is the miners, as you can see. The miners are don't have the titles of their weapons or tools like wands, swords and stuff, but the element itself. And according to the book, Phyllis, Curott and Danielle, Barlow, had to have a quick look, they did journeying. So they did spiritual or meditative journeys into the different elements, and the impressions they got on their journeys with the energies of the cards, with the qualities of the cards, are featured in this deck. So, for example, air being associated with your traditional swords here. It's not a sword, but it's a harp. And for example, the 3 of air being the 3 of swords in your traditional tarot. There's no heart being pierced by swords, but we get 3 herons here, flying away from troubled waters. So this is also something they did, and they mention in the book, or Phyllis mentions in the book. For example, here 8 of swords. So you're not bound like in your traditional Rider-Waite-Smith depiction, but the solution or the remedy for being bound and stuck in your traditional picture of this card is to rise above the situation. So here you get an eagle flying high above a mountain top, and the clarity and the different perspective and point of view here are the remedy. So in your more or less difficult cards, what they did is they wanted to depict in a way a solution or a way to cope with the quality or the energy of the card. And what they say is that this is a healing deck. A deck meant to be healing in a wider sense. So quite fascinating. There are difficult cards in here. So it's not just, well, everything's easy. There are some obstacles also mirrored in this deck here. Of course, they are part of life. So this is the introduction in a way. I will flip the camera now so we can have a more detailed, zoomed in view on the single cards as we flip through them. See you in a second. So, here we are, back again, zoomed in, and we will start with the suit of air. This is the order the cards came in, so we will follow that. And so the ace of air here is the wind harp, made of bones with some strings and the stars in the background. The two of air is called vulnerability. The hedgehog, dandelions, and in a way a split tree with two ravens. The three of air or three of swords is rise up. So leave the troubled waters behind. The four of air is sanctuary. Quite a calm, peaceful card here. The five of air with the owls in the rain is called sacrifice. Okay, so let's have a look at the book here. Two long-eared owls have exchanged freedom for family. Driven by love and instinct, the other owl spreads her wings to shelter the young as the father stands guard. Life is full of trade-offs, of exchanging one thing of value for another. Owls sacrificed the protection of fat and feathers, but received the blessing of silence. Hushed wings leave them vulnerable to water and weather, unable to hunt in the rain. But quiet flight makes them the greatest hunters in the night. And the owl is wise. It's the guide on the journey to self-awareness and to awareness beyond the self. The essence is sacrifice, acceptance, integrity, higher purpose. Okay, so you get a feel where they are going. The six of air is called balance, but it also resembles in a way your traditional six of swords here, because here you got the two swans with the babies and then a fox here, so moving away from the trouble, moving away from the danger into or to a safer place. The seven of air is called the witch's ladder, made of feathers, making a wish, I guess. The eight of air, we already talked about this, clarity, so rising above the situation, getting another point of view. Knight of air with the bees is transition, so you get a beehive here, I guess. And then the 10 of air, which would be the 10 of swords, is murmuration. So you see all the birds here forming a perfect form. And then for your court cards, I haven't mentioned that before, you also get different or new archetypes. So you get a messenger representing the page in a way. Lovely here with the embracing the goose. You get a witch of air, which would be the knight, so a female representation of the active dynamic energy, so a switch of polarity here in a way. Then you get a craftsman for each element, so the craftsman of air is in a way a scientist, a researcher. And then you get a goddess as the highest rank in each suit or element. So the goddess of air is a spider woman, spider goddess here. Which leads us to the suit of fire, with a cauldron here and a lot of flames going on, very fiery ace of fire. And let me have a look. The ace of fire is called, yes, cauldron of community. Two of fire is called beyond fear. The 3 of fire is lights in the darkness. Will-o'-the-wisp lights here going on. The 4 of fire is hearth fire coming together. 5 of fire is choice with butterflies here. 6 of fire is light on water with dragonflies making love. 7 of fire is the lion, but the official title is benevolence. Not my favorite picture, I have to say. Not because of what is depicted, so I'm fine with the lion and roses and stuff, but compared to some of the other animals and nature we've seen so far illustrated by Danielle, well, it's not the best in a way. 8 of fire, wake up, sun is rising. 9 of fire is alchemy, interesting with all the fruits and the berries going on, abundance. 10 of fire is spirit of life, which is quite an interesting card. I guess this is the deep blue wintry forest we saw in the box. Candles everywhere in the snow, and in the background, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there are shades of wolves in the background. Yes. So then we have the messenger of fire, of course, with the ram. The witch of fire with the big serpent, looking like the Pythia in a way. The craftsman of fire, a blacksmith. And the goddess of fire is Baba Yaga, but I'm also reminded of Curott when I see this here with the cauldron. Ace of water, beautiful stream going on here with the toad. So let me check the name for this card here. Memory. Okay. 2 of water is harmony. 2 otters, I think. Cute. The 3 of water is fog. Okay, fog. 4 of water is beauty with 4 lovely whales here. 5 of water is quite interesting because this is called consequences. And you can see here, on the one hand, you get a polar bear with her 2 cups on ice. And then in the mirrored image, you get a starving polar bear. The ice is melting. There's some... Oh, one of the cups is in the water already. This looks like, well, a piece of plastic, I guess. A piece of rubbish or garbage in the water. So this is what happens right now. 6 of water, diving deep. 7 of water, peace. So it's like shot from above in a way, in a desert. And here's a pond of water and streams and all the animals following the streams to the water. The 8 of water is instinct, and you get little turtles here. Going back into the sea here with a big moon, following the moon. In the 9 of water we get a salmon. Leap of faith. Yep, returning to the source. And the 10 of water is consecration, and it shows a jungle scene, rainforest scene with a toucan here and green frogs everywhere, and this looks like a panther, I guess, or a puma. The messenger of water is lovely. The witch of water is a mermaid, but not a kitschy one. The craftsman of water is a rainmaker, rain dancer. And then the goddess of water, very watery here. Almost looking like a vase or an amphora or something. All the fishes here going out. But there's a face here. Sure if the camera lets you see it. And a great octopus, and of course an embryo. Ace of Earth. Looks like a crane bag. A shamanic bag of healing herbs. Healing is the keynote or the subtitle here. Mother Bear, lovely, with her cub in a cave. Three of Earth, Sacred Site. Four of Earth, Standing Stones in the four directions, so in a way a magic protective circle. Five of Earth, interesting. One thing becomes another. Yeah, so you get this hair here, the living hair, and then a dead hair, but there are little bunnies, little hairs already starting to grow. So the circle of life, death and life here. Six of Earth, Dragon's Eye. So this is, I don't know, a rocky formation, a mountain in a way. You can see some sort of dragon here. And then they are little lizards. And this is the Dragon's Eye, pool of water. Seven of Earth, running stags, powerful. Eight of Earth, Spirit of Place. So this is a sacred place in a way. Nine of Earth is wolves under the Polaris. The wolf pack, it's called. In the snow. Cool depiction. And then the 10 of Earth is the Web of Life, which is a gorgeous concept and card. And here you can see the different toadstools and trees going on, and the roots of the trees, and everything is interconnected, everything is entwined, and it's all a big web of hidden, for us human beings, in a way hidden communication and support. And yeah, fascinating. 10 of Earth. The messenger here with a reindeer or an elk. No, I guess it's a reindeer. The Witch of Earth, very shamanic feeling here with a bear skin. The Craftsman of Earth is your green man here. So a face being visible in the greenery. And then the Goddess of Earth, wow. Very lush. So on one hand you get the mountain, and then the pyramid, wheat or cereals here, and then the lotus, mother's milk, but also the Milky Way, of course, the beehive and the cow. Yeah, great. So, which leads us to the trumps. So we can leave the book now. So what we have here is the world, and as you can see, her world is burning and now she's leaving. So in a way it's like the world mixed with the fool, starting the journey, leaving the old world behind and going into the world. Interesting here, it's a city that's burning while nature is still available. The initiation here with a fox and a raven. So initiation would be your judgment card. The sun is the sun. A happy sun with butterflies. The moon is your moon, of course, with the two wolves. And then a crescent moon. The star is still the star with a kingfisher. I love kingfishers. Lovely. The maze would be your tower. You can see the lightning in the back. Whoops, no, it's just one. It's very thick cardstock, I have to say. Whoops. Ancestor would be your devil, so the power of ancestors. Healing would be a temperance, but here you get Devas and plant spirits. 13, rebirth, or here it's number 9, which would be a traditional death with a crow or a raven here in the background. The Hanged Man traditionally. So now here it is offering to nature, offering to the earth, to nature spirits. I think this is a wren here. Balance, so more like natural balance. The Wheel of Life, Wheel of Fortune, of course, with the different seasons and the 8 solstices and equinoctiums. Is this the right word? Equinoxes. This is the right word. And the cross quarter Sabbaths in a way. So now this is the Hermit, being a shaman, a blindfolded shaman, listening within. Then Strength, not just a lady with a lion, but a lady with a lot of animals here. A lynx, I guess, a beaver, I'm not sure, an elk, an owl, a lot going on. Journey would be the Chariot, which makes sense. The Lovers becomes love. The Wisdom Keeper is your traditional Hierophant or Pope or High Priest. The Guardian, like Canonis, the Horned One, is the Emperor. The Empress becomes your great mother with a bear here and a baby. And even the hills here in the background, they resemble a pregnant womb and then 2 breasts. The Priestess is the High Priestess. So instead of black and white, you get red and white roses here. And it looks in a way like the moon is her drum. Interesting. And here's a stream of water going on, maybe from a sacred well. I have to read the book. The Council of All Beings. Now this is quite different. You would expect the Magician, so maybe one person here, but we get the Council of All Beings. But the Magician, using all the elements and all the instruments or weapons or tools of the 4 elements. Now here everything comes together. And so it's a council of all the beings. Interesting. And last but not least, also numbered 0 here, you have the Pilgrim going on a journey. Instead of the white dog here, you get a fox. And there's no cliff, no, she's going into the world following her journey. So, there you have it. This is and was a quick review and walkthrough of the newly released Witch's Wisdom Tarot with the lovely back and a nice box. It might not be everybody's cup of tea. I'm not sure yet. I like the whole concept. I like that it's especially meant to be a healing deck in a way. I would love to work with it, maybe just daily draws, no big spreads or something. I will try it out. I will do daily draws and then read the book and maybe find some inspiration. They also recommend journeying with the cards, meditating with the cards to get direct messages. We'll see how that works out. Yeah, it's a nice deck. If you feel in any way drawn to pagan, earth-based, nature-based, Wiccan, witchy, whatever, shamanic spirituality, I guess this is a great deck for you. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. Feel free to check my other videos here on YouTube. And you can find me on Instagram, Cards.n.Colors, there too, of course. And feel free to comment or leave a comment. And stay tuned and see you next time. Bye.